What is up? What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel. It is Monday, April 4th, 2022. Here to talk about WrestleMania for a little bit, man. It's not going to be that long of a video, as you guys see. 10 to 15 minutes. It's not that long of a video. Just want to talk about WrestleMania real quick, because there was a lot of stuff that happened on the show. There's a lot of people that said it was the greatest WrestleMania since 31. Am I going to take it that far? No, I'm not. Was it a good WrestleMania? Absolutely. It was a good WrestleMania. Night 1 blew Night 2 out of the water. Again, for a second year in a row, Night 1 was better than Night 2. But I really enjoyed the first night. I didn't watch it live, but I watched it yesterday. I caught up on it yesterday, and it was just really good stuff on it. So let's just run through it real quick. I don't want to really be here long. I'm going to save Cody Rhodes, and I'm going to save Roman Reigns towards the end of the video. So you're definitely going to stick around toward that. So Night 1, basically the major things that happened on Night 1. We had Bianca Belair winning the Raw Women's Championship. Good match against Becky Lynch. It was not better than the Sasha Banks match, but they had a very good match. I just don't care. I don't know. It's just something about me. It just doesn't care about Bianca Belair anymore. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. But that happened. I'm happy for her, though. It was a great moment for her. She got to win the championship again at WrestleMania, so that's awesome for her. Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin in a no-holds-barred match was the Night 1 WrestleMania main event. If this match wasn't a no-holds-barred match, it probably wouldn't have worked. So this is probably the best way they can go. And they had a good match, and WWE put a lot of trust. WWE and Stone Cold Steve Austin put a lot of trust in Kevin Owens to carry this no-holds-barred match and protect Stone Cold to make sure he does not get hurt. And Stone Cold Steve Austin walked out just fine. We actually saw him last night as well, which we'll talk about. But Kevin Owens was able to protect Stone Cold Steve Austin, so I was very happy about that. They had a good match. Kevin Owens re-signed a contract with WWE. I think it was in last December, and they rewarded him with a WrestleMania main event against Stone Cold Steve Austin in front of 70,000 people. So that alone, I'm very happy for Kevin Owens, and I'm pretty sure he's very pumped up with that as well. But he got to wrestle in the main event of WrestleMania against Stone Cold Steve Austin, which is probably a dream of his. So I'm very happy for him. Logan Paul, man. Logan Paul had no expectations going into this match. I had zero. Just like the Bad Bunny match from last year. But again, Logan Paul was impressive. I want to be honest with you. Logan Paul was very impressive. Was it better than Bad Bunny's performance? Nope. But it was good. It was very good. And if Logan Paul wants to make another appearance for WWE and have a match with them, I got no problem. As long as it makes sense. He's got to be a heel, though. He's got to be a heel, because that man is a natural heel, in my opinion. If he wants to have another match, I wouldn't have a problem with it, to be honest. But he had a very good match. He won with The Miz. He beat the Mysterios, and The Miz turned on him after the match with the skull-crushing finale to Logan Paul. I'm not necessarily sure where that's going, but no idea. I don't know what happens with that now as far as Logan Paul and The Miz goes. I guess you'll find out tonight on Raw. So, and then we had Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair, an absolute dud. The build of it sucked. No one cared about this match going into it, and it turned out to be the worst match on WrestleMania weekend. Just not going to talk about it anymore. Just not going to talk about it. And then night two was the worst of the nights, in my opinion, after going back and watching both nights. I will say, though, I loved the way they opened up the show, seeing Triple H and after the cardiac event and his health scare, just him being out in that environment in front of that crowd. I was just very happy for him, and he was just soaking it all in, probably for the last time. So, and he got to put his boots out in the middle of the ring. But sorry if you're hearing background noise. It's my dog barking. But anyway, I love the way they opened the show with Triple H. I also thought the opening match was excellent. The Alpha Academy, the Street Profits, and RK Bro in a triple threat for the Monday Night Raw Tag Team Championships. RK Bro came out with the win. I didn't really know who was going to win that match, but RK Bro's just so over. I thought they would have broken up by now, but I mean, they're just so over together. They got to keep them, and they're the tag team champions now. So, I mean, I got no problem with it, I guess, but the match was great. They had Gable Steveson out there afterwards. Chad Gable shut him up, and then Gable Steveson gave him a belly-to-belly suplex. So the WWE career of Gable Steveson has begun, and I'm telling you guys right now, I'm going to make a bold prediction. You guys are going to be sick of Gable Steveson by the summer, because WWE is going to force him down our throats like they do to all their guys. And we will probably be sick of Gable Steveson by the time it's summer. So that's my prediction. Second match, don't really have to talk about it. Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville, anything goes. Oh, this is weird. It was an absolute embarrassment. But it was entertaining, if that makes sense. This match was probably the definition of sports entertainment. This was a sports entertainment match, if that makes sense to you guys. Because while it was funny and it was entertaining, it was also very embarrassing. Like, if you had a group of friends over who had never watched wrestling before and they seen this match, they probably would have turned it off. That's how embarrassing it was. But again, it was also entertaining. Did that shit deserve to be on WrestleMania? Absolutely not. Did Sami Zayn deserve to go through what he went through? Absolutely not. Was there good moments in that match? Yes. For example, Wee Man body slamming Sami Zayn was probably the best moment of the match, and it was one of the most over things the entire night. I mean, his spot where he body slammed Sami Zayn got a big reaction out of the crowd. And really, after that match, the crowd was dead until the Pat McAfee match, which I'm getting to in a little bit. But yeah, it was entertaining, but it was also very embarrassing as well. Edge versus AJ Styles had a really good match. My problem with it was the crowd didn't give a shit. The crowd was silent during the entire match. And hold on a second, I gotta go close the door. I'll be right back, guys. Alright, I'm sorry about that. I had to go close the door. for my dog barking outside, so I didn't want it to be a distraction, and I was getting distracted pretty easily. So, but yeah, really good match. I enjoyed it. It was probably the match I was looking forward to the most the entire night. Just the crowd didn't give a shit. The crowd was silent. Most of the match, they got into it at the end with AJ Styles about to win. Damian Priest was standing right outside, and I loved the finish, actually. I loved this finish. It was very simple. Damian Priest didn't cost he didn't cost AJ Styles the match. He just stood there. The distraction of the presence of Damian Priest distracted AJ Styles, and he didn't do a thing. He just stood there. And then Edge hits a midair spear to AJ Styles for the win. And after the match, Edge and Damian Priest are laughing together. And there was a report that Edge is about to build a new faction on Raw. And one of the names being pitched was Damian Priest. And it looks like we got a faction right now with Edge and Damian Priest, with more recruits coming in. So it should be very interesting. That should be very, very interesting. So we'll see what happens there. Pat McAfee and Austin Theory was my favorite match of the night. Pat McAfee was the most over person the entire night. Crowd was singing his theme song the entire match with Austin Theory. He jumped up to the turnbuckle, did a suplex. He did a lot during that match. He won, and then afterwards, he had a match with Vince McMahon. And then it ended with Stone Cold coming out. The whole point of it was to get one last Stone Cold stunner on Vince McMahon. And they could have done without Vince McMahon literally booking himself to beat Pat McAfee. This man literally booked himself to beat Pat McAfee, but not the 24-year-old Austin Theory who could use it. That's effed up. That's really effed up if you ask me. But I don't know. They could have absolutely done. They could have done without the Vince McMahon Pat McAfee match, but they wanted the Stone Cold Stunner. They could have done that without the Vince McMahon match against Pat McAfee, which actually turned out to be one of the worst stunners I've ever seen. We saw one of the best stunners I've ever seen from Stone Cold to Austin Theory, who sold it like his life depended on him, to one of the worst with Vince McMahon. And that was legit a nightmare. And then, I'm about to pass 15 minutes, but I don't care. Roman Reigns. And this will be a good topic of discussion. Roman Reigns is what they're calling it now, the new undisputed Universal Champion. So I don't know if he's going to be carrying around one title or if he's going to be carrying around two titles. So I got no idea. I don't know. But I will say this. There was a time in the beginning of this whole Acknowledge Me tribal chief run. Basically, in the pandemic era, I loved Roman Reigns. Everything he was doing was just pure gold. From the segments to the promos with Paul Heyman to his matches. Everything Roman Reigns did was gold. Roman Reigns feels like everybody else now. Roman Reigns is boring in my opinion. Roman Reigns cuts the same promo he does every Friday. Acknowledge me. I'm the tribal chief. It's every week. And no one who loses to Roman Reigns benefits. Nobody's benefiting from losing to Roman Reigns besides Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins was already a made man going into it. No one's... it sucks. I'm ready for Roman Reigns to lose. I'm so ready for him to drop the championship by the summer. And they got the perfect guy for it. Cody Rhodes. The first person to jump ship from AEW to WWE, which is a big deal. It's a huge deal. Not only for WWE, but for pro wrestling. He doesn't need WWE. WWE needs him. Because just look at that roster. Look at the WrestleMania match card. Look at all these celebrity matches. WWE needs Cody Rhodes. AEW doesn't need Cody Rhodes. And I'm happy for Cody. I want Cody to beat Roman Reigns. He's the perfect guy, in my opinion, to be set up for a match at SummerSlam against Roman Reigns and win. Because now he's over. Cody Rhodes, this is the first time he's been over in about a year. Ever since AEW started the stuff for Cody with QT Marshall, he has not been over. And the crowd turned on them. The crowd legitimately turned on Cody. And he did not have much support. And he wasn't viewed as a top guy like he was in the beginning stages of AEW. Once AEW brought in Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole and CM Punk. He was there. And he wasn't getting paid as much. He wanted a CM Punk-like contract. And he wasn't going to get awarded that. So, he's in WWE now. I'm happy for him. He's obviously happy. Saw his backstage interview. So, I'm happy for Cody Rhodes. Honestly, if there's like AEW fans like burning shirts and smashing Cody figures, like, it's just something wrong with you. Just be happy for the guy, man. So, but the main takeaway is they let Cody Rhodes be himself. And that's what I love. They're letting Cody Rhodes be the American Nightmare. He freaking came out to Kingdom against Seth Rollins. Which was, by the way, that match was probably not even close. The best WWE match of the entire year. And it's not even close, but I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys for watching the video. Tonight, National Championship, North Carolina, Kansas. I'm pumped. I want my Tar Heels to win the championship. Let's freaking go get it, man. We deserve it. But I'll see you guys Wednesday with AEW Dynamite, back with AEW with Wesley Williams and Cameron Johnson here on the Big Fight Field channel. Be sure to comment down below your favorite moments of WrestleMania, your worst, thoughts on Cody Rhodes, all that stuff. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Conlon_Joseph. And I'm getting out of here, guys. Have a good day. Peace.